Hello everybody, my name is Benjamin Bloom and I have just witnessed in the Championship playoff semi-final first leg, Derby 1, Fulham 0. So Derby go into the second game in West London with a 1-goal advantage, and here is how they did it. So Derby lined up, and this system's pretty important. They went three at the back, so it was Keogh, Davies and Forsyth were the centre backs. The right wing back was Wisdom. The left wing back was Andras Weimann, who's a very pacey attacking player. So this was a deliberate ploy to stop Fredericks, the Fulham right back, getting forward. In midfield, Tom Huddleston and Bradley Johnson sitting with Vidra and Lawrence supporting Cameron Jerome, the lone forward. This was a 3-5-2, but a 3-5-2 that could very quickly be a 5-4-1 out of possession. So Derby with a very clear message to Fulham: we're going to funnel you down the middle, we're going to stop your wide players, try your best to score against us, see if you can do it. Fulham, well, we knew what they were going to do. Nothing new from Jukanovic, so Bettinelli in goal, Fredericks, Adoy, Ream, Target, standard back four for them. McDonald sitting, and Kearney and Johansson recycling ahead of him. Sessegnon off to the left, the much vaunted Sessegnon. Aite, so no PRs on tonight, down the right hand side with Mitrovic, the big guy, up front. 2 minutes in, handball shout in the Derby box. They do not get given after 2 minutes for the away team in a playoff leg. I'd have to have another look at that one. Big shout from the Fulham fans in the corner there. Mitrovic knocks one off to Sessegnon, over the top, right-footed first shot of the game on 3 minutes. So it's a bright start from Fulham, who have a lot of possession. The pattern is immediately clear. So Derby are going to let the Fulham centre halves have the ball. Everyone else is going to kind of drop back. I expected at this point to start seeing Kearney and Johansson coming right back and getting it. And the pattern was Fulham passing it about kind of at their slowish pace when the fullbacks aren't bombing forward. And Derby all team shape, all pressing, not frenetic pressing, but organised pressing. And that was the pattern really. 20 minutes, no shots on target. Both sides being very, very patient. Derby patient with their holding position. Fulham patient with their passing. So got very tense for 20 minutes. Finally, some penalty box action on 25. Target, low cross. Bodies in the box, well gathered by Carson. Weimann gives it away on the breakout, lets Fredericks behind him for really the only time. Aite kind of stooping, heads that one wide. Derby in for the first time on 27. Lawrence into the corner of the area on the right hand side, but he cannot find Jerome. They were looking for the out ball, which was Lawrence on one side and Vidra on the other. Really though, in terms of getting up and down, Lawrence coped a lot better than Vidra. On 33 minutes, the game plan though works for Derby. So Derby take the lead on 33. They'd had not a lot of possession. They'd kept their team shape, but to be fair to them, they hadn't conceded any decent chances. No shots on target at this point for Fulham, and the plan comes to fruition. So it's a counter-attack as we expect. Weimann goes forward, it goes into Huddleston in centre midfield. The play converges around him and he's cool as you like and chips a reverse ball out to Forsyth, who's got forward from his left centre back position in a three. You think, go on, just get a decent contact on this cross. He comes up to the corner of the box, he puts a great cross in, and Jerome is clever. He's pulled back. He's not being marked by Ream. He's not being marked by Adoy. I think it's Target on the back post who he has a big size advantage over, and it's old school Jerome. He bullies the hell out of Target, smashes the header into the corner. I know, to my pain in 2014-15, Jerome, a playoff specialist for Norwich in that season. I think he scored in all 3 games, and he does it again for Derby, which sets it up absolutely beautifully. You've got one team saying, come and score past us, we're going to play you on the counter, and they take the lead. So big questions asked for Fulham, but we know in the playoffs, 33 minutes gone, there's 157 minutes left. So Fulham's job's 147 minutes, my maths is not good, left in the game. So we know Fulham are not going to change their principles. The key here, do not panic and go two behind, I guess. It's fed into Mitrovic with his back to goal. A very common pass today for Fulham, given how well Derby stopped the wide attacking. He turns and shoots straight at Carson. Something of a rarity because it was a Fulham shot on target. So we get to half-time. Tense stuff. Kudos for Rowett. His plan is working thus far. What are Fulham going to do in the second half? Hairy moment on 47 for Bettinelli. He slips and his goal kick is charged down by Lawrence. Could go anywhere. Bounces safely though. Sessegnon in off the left. Shoots well. Well wide. Right-footed. On 53, a bit of a flurry of activity for Fulham. McDonald's arriving on the edge of the box. Mitrovic holds it up. Lays it off. McDonald, he's going to take it first time, right-footed, curling away from the keeper who's off his line, hits the crossbar, great effort from McDonald, bounces out, and then a huge chance here, the one that Fulham fans are going to rue. So it's a long diagonal. Aite, I guess they haven't got the team shape back from the chaos of the shot against the crossbar. It's a long diagonal over the top. Keogh loses Aite. He's really calm, he watches it down. He's just got to get this on target. It's a side foot volley on the right foot. He puts it wide, probably the clearest chance of the game. So Fulham hit the bar and have their best chance within a minute there on 53. Up the other end, Weimann into the box in a foot race with Fredericks, but he can't do anything. Felt a bit sorry for Weimann because his primary job here was defending, and I think the Derby fans were still expecting attacking end product, but really he's only got two lungs, I guess. Kearney on 63 now into the attacking midfield spot. He shoots left foot. It's going in the corner. It's a good save by Carson. Derby are funneling Fulham down the middle, so these Fulham centre midfielders are getting quite close up to the edge of the area, but there's so little space there. This Derby tactic is working and they're restricting them to shots from the edge of the box. On 66, Rowett is going to freshen it up. Quite brave here, given how well they'd snuffed out the wide positions. He goes to a back four. So Anya comes in for Vidri, wants to keep pace down that side. He plays on the left. Nugent comes on for Jerome, presumably just to do a pressing job up the field. It's a 4-2-3-1. Weimann goes back over onto the right-hand side. I say it's a 4-2-3-1, but when Fulham had the ball, which was a lot of the time, it was a 4-5-1, frankly. Target gets forward. He somehow wins an aerial with Wisdom, who's got a good few inches on him. Heads it down to Mitrovic, who got little change out of sort of Davis and Keogh and Forsyth at the back. He's got a little bit of space, but he falls as he tries to back in and take the shot. Great wing play on 72 by Lawrence. He's on the counter. He smashes it across. Anya's arriving. He's coming in from the far side. He's got fresh legs. Just arrived too late. Again, great stuff from Lawrence down the right-hand side. He's the out ball every time, really. Vidra's legs have... well, Vidra's off, but his legs had gone long into this game, I think. Great cross this time, and it's a really good defensive header by Adoy. Jukanovic freshens it up, but doesn't really change the system, and Derby is set up to play against this, so the threat is only in personnel. He doesn't give them anything different to think about with these subs. Cabano comes in for Sessegnon. Sessegnon's so quiet today. Well done, Wisdom, over on that side. So Cabano comes in for Sessegnon. Piarzon comes in for Aite. Weimann takes a yellow for dissent. Lawrence skies a left footer over the top. Fulham forced 3 corners. We're into the last 10 minutes now. I don't know how Fulham fans feel about this. Take them all short, play them out to the edge of the area, and don't manage to get shots off. They're trying to go through the eye of a needle when you've got Davis, Keogh, Huddleston, Johnson, all on defensive duty. All, God knows how many games those lot have played between them, but they didn't budge today. They were very, very staunch in their defence. Johansson takes a yellow for a late one. He's starting to get a bit frustrated with all of these, showing his emotions. Johnson takes a yellow for stopping a counter-attack for Derby. Slid into Kenny, shifts it out of his feet. He's just on the edge of the D, tries the curler. Carson, full dive. Just wide by Kenny. But these are the chances they restrict him to. Jukanovic senses Johansson might get himself sent off. He puts Norwood in for Johansson on 87 to make sure he's going to be there on Monday for the return game. Fulham press on. Fredericks down the right. Good cross in. For once, they get a cross into Mitrovic. I think his Wisdom just kind of jumps in front of him, puts him off, and heads it over. Difficult chance, but I could be wrong. It might have been Davies there. Hansen in for Vyman. He put in a good shift. And Derby see it out 1-0. So not a lot to say in this game. It was very, very clear. We had contrasting styles. We had Derby, 3 at the back, 2 midfielders sat in front, and pace in the wing-back position. But all of those 3, 5, 7 outfield players and the goalkeeper, primarily defensive duties, and the out ball was to Lawrence on one side. Didn't really work as with Vidra as an out ball, and in the main he was a defender, so I hope Derby fans can see through the fact that he didn't have his most effective game today. I think he took one for the team. Lawrence, it did work for him. He's a bit more of a run off the shoulder guy. Jerome up front on his own, really pressing where he could, but he was in the main up against 2 centre halves. So that was the one team. They wanted the game to move a bit faster in the press. Fulham going to sit there. They're going to play it round. The midfielder are all going to rotate. The key thing I think that really worked for Derby, as I've said a few times, Fredericks, normally we see such a pacey guy as well. They cut that off at source. And Fulham fans, have you seen Sessegnon have as quiet a game as that this season? You had Keogh and Wisdom. If you'll excuse the pun, a lot of Wisdom there. They managed to snuff him out and work together over on that side. The goal, there were 3 bits of quality in the goal, so it wasn't just a counter-attack and a shithouse job here. Huddleston, great quality to put his foot on it, not panic and find the guy who had space. And Forsyth, if you put a quality ball with pace, with curve, into that area where the keeper can't get it, you're going to create a chance. And Jerome, like I say, playoff specialist, championship specialist, bullies his man and smashes the header in. So job well done for Derby. So far so good. Now context is completely all in the next game, but am I wrong, Fulham fans, in being a little bit disappointed in Jukanovic today? Because everyone knew what he was going to do, and this is a bit of a game of chess in the playoffs, and sometimes as a manager you need to kind of do something to force the other manager, not necessarily some big, I'll change the formation or switch in a player who you completely don't expect from the start, but you need to have some kind of plan B. And Fulham, fair dues, they stick to their principles, but there was no kind of change up, and you could see as the game wore on that they couldn't get the speed into the passing and the attacking, and that it wasn't really going to break through. And for example, they've got this wild card, Kamara. I mean, I don't know whether he was there on the bench today. That would be the sort of thing you would expect, just to shake it up and give Rowett something to think about. He didn't give Rowett something to think about. This is not league football. This is not train all week and work hard on a philosophy to score you 89 points. That's done now. This is tournament football. This is competition football. And I worry, if the game wears on Monday, whether Jukanovic has got it in him or they've got the personnel to say, okay, Rowett, this is what we're going to do. Whether that be 2 up front, go into maybe a 4-4-2, maybe going to a 3 at the back, trying to overload the pitch in a different way that forces Rowett, who's obviously prepared very well for this to do something different. Context is all, like I say, and Fulham could come out of the traps, score after 1 minute in the return game, and what I've just said is completely out of the window, because then, you know, the game restarts. I think the key thing here, and as an Ipswich fan, I've seen this quite a lot with Mr. McCarthy as our manager. These systems work, but the whole thing is predicated on that clean sheet. Once that clean sheet goes, what do you do? So it's really, really interestingly set up for Monday night. I suspect both teams will be completely unchanged. Be interesting to see energy-wise how Derby hold out. Concentration-wise, they had a long defensive duty that they did very well today. And like I said, it didn't press frenetically, but they must have expended a lot of energy mentally, like I say, concentrating, and physically with the pressing. I suspect Fulham will be completely unchanged in the main. You may see, I don't know whether Aite might come out and Piazza might be in, just purely on the basis that he can come in and affect the game in midfield a little bit more. Well, what the hell is going to happen on Monday night? I think the longer it goes with a Derby clean sheet, the harder it's going to be for Fulham and the more pressure on Jokanovic. Derby fans, Fulham fans, let me know what you thought of tonight. Have I got that right? And what you think's going to happen on Monday night. Let me know in the comments. There's only a few days turnaround, so it's all very exciting this time of the season. Please give me a subscribe. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Follow me on Twitter at Benjamin Bloom, and I will be at Craven Cottage in the Riverside stand on Monday night. Really, really looking forward to it. If it's anything like this, up the tension a little bit more. Fulham got to speed things up, got to have a plan B maybe just up their sleeve if their normal philosophy doesn't work. Anyway, I'm going to drive home. Middlesbrough Villa tomorrow. Oh, the tension. Right, thank you very much for watching.